Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the East Coast Insomniac West Coast Wind Down podcast. Thank you for joining us on tonight. This is going to be a great night, a great show, and we are excited about what is going to take place on tonight. We are excited. Listen, do me this favor real quick, and I want you to go, and I want you to send and tag and share this with everybody that you can, that you know that's up, still scrolling TikTok, everybody that you know that's up on the night shift, everybody that you know that just can't sleep, everybody that you know that's just an insomniac themselves. So I want you to send this to them and tell them, hey, since you up anyway, why don't you just watch this? So you can find us on on Facebook, and you can also find us on YouTube. It's East Coast Insomniac, West Coast Wind Down Podcast. We are here once again, and thank you for joining us. Good evening, good evening. Welcome, Don. Welcome. Pastor Jay, what's up, bro? Hey, y'all, let us know where you chatting in from as well. What's up, Fifi? What's up, Candace? What's up, cousin? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. And then Patricia Oliver, what's going on? Good evening. Thank y'all for joining. Thank you for joining. We are here. We are live, and we are ready to go on tonight. We are excited about this. Again, share, because we want to get people in just to watch and just to check it out. Good evening. Share tag. We're excited about tonight. This is our season finale. Y'all been with me for 12 episodes since I began. Whether you're on the East Coast, you're an insomniac, or you're on the West Coast and you're winding down, thank you for joining. We have made 12 episodes, and I'm about to take a break. I got a lot going on, and so this gives me an opportunity to breathe a little bit. And so again, thank you for joining. Pastor Jermon coming in from Las Vegas. Congratulations also, bro, on your elevation, man. That's exciting. That's exciting. So happy for you. We look forward to hearing and seeing great things even further. All right. Hey, Sharice Perry, how you doing, sis? Good evening. So thank y'all again for joining on tonight. And we are excited about what is in store on tonight. I have some people who decided to hang out with me on tonight to talk about getting black into the music. All right. So we are going to be talking about music. That's going to be our subject on tonight. And I have some very well able and capable people who are going to be joining me on tonight. And we're going to have a great time. You're welcome, Pastor Jay. Let me do this real quick. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. And so I'm going to introduce them and bring them in one by one. I'm going to start out with a power couple that some of you may not be aware of, some of you might be aware of, and they hail from Little Rock, Arkansas. One by way of Wilmar, Arkansas, the other by way of Puerto Rico, one of my favorite places in the world. And so I want to introduce to you Angelica Records, Angelica. I want to make sure I pronounce it right. Angelica Records, uh, uh, CEO and executive, as well as one of the artists, Kevin Riley and Francis Riley. Here they are here today. Welcome, Rileys.
Thank you.
Hello.
Good evening. And then I want to also welcome Uh, he's not a young buck anymore. I don't think he's even 40 yet, but he got an old soul, and I love this brother. He is a professional to his heart, and I'm gonna be talking about his project as we go along here. But I well, I can't call him that. I was about to say call him Mr. PPP, but I'm just gonna call him Brother Samaj Brown. What's up, bro?
What's
Welcome,
going
welcome,
on,
welcome.
brother?
And
Everything's well.
then,
All is
yeah,
well. Glad to be with you.
glad to have you, man. And then we have also another brother who hails from down that same way. You know, can anything good come out of Deshay, Arkansas? I guess it can. And we have another brother. I'm sorry, Drew County. Can anything good come out of Drew County? I guess it can. We have another brother. He is a what do you call it? They call him. They used to call him crooners, but this guy, he got some pipes on him, and he is responsible for making a lot of pandemic babies, and his name is Gabriel Pace, also known as G Pace.
What's going on?
And then, last but not least, uh, this guy is very near and dear to my heart. I am so proud of him. What he's doing and what the way he's growing and the way he's progressing. And he hails from Little Rock, Arkansas. He is the first from my lawns uh, that I know about. But he goes he goes by nephew Black, but he's my eldest son, Christian Jones. What's up, Christian? Yeah, you muted, but that's cool. Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
So thank you all for joining. And so look, it's good to have you all here with us, and we want to I want to first of all go around the horn and get everybody just to tell a little bit more about no let's do this first. Let's do this first. So I want you I gave you some instructions, and I asked you to have a piece of paper. You got a piece of paper with you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so on a piece of paper, I want you to write down 3 to 5 words that describes your relationship with music. 3 to 5 words that describes your relationship with music. All right. We're gonna give you a bit. And again, coming on, while they're writing theirs down, if you know anybody who's interested in getting in the music industry, if you are interested in how the music industry works, if you are interested in getting the music industry yourself, this may be a good show for you or for whoever you might need to send this to. And so I encourage you to send this out because I think it's going to be very beneficial and a blessing for many, whether it's R&B, whether it's blues, whether it's neo soul, whether you want to get into the exec side, whether you want to become a producer or engineer, whether you want to be an artist. I think is going to be very beneficial for you. So you all have your 3 to 5 words down about your relationship with music. All right. So we're gonna start at the top with the Rileys. What's your relationship, Francis? I call her just Francis.
Just
Uh, yeah. So what's your 3 to 5 words that explains your relationship with music?
Let's see. I wrote promoter, artist development, and indie education.
Okay, promoter, artist development, and indie education, because we have a big indie market that's really booming now, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And a lot of people don't know about artist development. You know, I've always had a love affair with music, and I actually write. I used to write lyrics. I was the cat that. I couldn't read real well, but I was the cat that used to write the love letters for my friends to their girlfriends or the girls that they like, right? Because I was just that poetic. And so they would come to me and ask me, for what words to use. And so I used to, and I did not realize until it's a crazy story. I was in the Navy, getting ready to get out, but I was going to a friend's wedding. We were going through the airport, and this lady, she was talking to us, and we began to talk, and we asked her what she does, and she said that she was an A&R director for Black Street Music. And my friend say, dog, you write, don't you? Don't you sing? I say, no, man. And so, I was actually slated to work as a writer for Black Street Music, but then the Lord called me to ministry, and so that never happened. And so now I get a chance to live my life, my musical life, vicariously through my oldest son. So that's when I learned about what A&R was, artistry and repertoire. And so I may get you to explain a little bit about what that is a little bit later. Uh, Kevin, what are your 3 to 5 words?
Artist, producer, writer, and clinician.
Artist, producer, writer, and clinician. Because sometimes, people don't want to invest. Yes, I'm living my life vicariously through my son, Deborah Michelle. That's my wife there. Uh, a lot of people want to get in the industry, but they don't want to be developed, and so that clinician is necessary. And then also, Samaj, what were your 3 to 5 words?
I have 5. Um, Artist, musician, producer. Then I spoke to the relationship of it, and I put married. And then my last one is frustrating.
You married to the music. Hey, your last one is frustrating.
Yes.
We hear you, bro. We're gonna talk about that frustration a little bit.
Right.
All right. And then Gabe, what are your 3 to 5 words?
Definitely an artist, performer. It's my purpose. Um, I'm learning the whole producing side of it. But songwriter, the whole nine, just anything that inclines to. It's my life, so
So
whatever.
you learning the whole thing, huh?
I'm trying to learn the whole thing, dog.
Yeah. So was it always your quest to jump into the full gamut of music, or you just wanted to sing?
I knew I wanted to. I started out singing. That's where I kind of got into it. But I always wanted to be a CEO of my own label, and just get into producing. So I guess you can say I kind of halfway. Now I wouldn't say the whole side of it, but definitely half of it at least.
Good deal. So, Marge, what about you? What was it your desire in the beginning to uh, just get into the fullness of the industry, or because you started at a young age? You were how old were you when you were traveling, singing with various groups and playing drums with various groups?
I started playing drums at age 4. They started letting me play in church at age 5. Um, Upon developing that gift, by the age of 12, no, by the age of 12 is when I had my first professional gig touring the U.S. Um, so as far as my thing was, I just wanted to be a drummer.
Yeah,
But being around music, being exposed to what music is, I became enamored with the ingredients. What makes us say that's good music? And
gotcha.
so once being exposed to the behind the scenes of what happens in the studio, what happens in preparation, how to mix, how to master, how to level things out and bring it to a professional level, I developed a hunger for the total package.
Yeah, and when I first met you and I heard your name, Samaj, I said, "Oh, that's neat." And then I was looking at it one day, And I started looking at. I say, "Oh, that's James Brown." And so whenever I look at you, man, and you don't know this, whenever I look at you, I always look at your name, Samaj Brown, and I always think about the movie Get On Up. You
Mhm.
say, "Mr. Bird, what's that? That's a drum.
Everything is a drum.
Everything is a drum."
Everything is a drum. Yes, sir.
And so it's interesting that you are in the full gamut of it, and you are uh, kind of named after James Brown. All right, and then Christian, what are your 3 to 5 words?
Okay, so I put producer, musician, and then I said it's expression for me, and I also put healing.
Okay, expression and healing, and that's interesting. So I wanna segue just because Christian said that. I want to segue into this. I always in the show as we get ready to go into the content, I always go in and I do the quotes of a song. So you have the OJ's, I love music, right? And so in the lyrics of I love music, the OJ's say music is the healing force of the world.
Hmm.
It's understood by every man, woman, boy, and girl. And that's why I say I love music, any kind of music. I love music just as long as it's groovy. I want to focus in where it says it's the healing force of the world. And I want to ask, and I'm going to jump questions. I want to ask this question: is modern music healing or hurting the black community? And I'm going to get back to another question a little bit later. So I'll start with Samaj. What do you think? Is it healing or hurting the black community?
I think that's a double. First of all, it's a loaded question.
It is.
I think that it's a double-sided answer to that. Uh, from the degree of, it depends on genre of music that you would, take into consideration to answer the question. There would be some I would say yes,
Mm-hmm.
because yes, it is healing uh, the black community, because music, to say I'm in love with music, that is a heavy statement, because when you say that, you're saying I'm not in love with what I'm hearing come out of the speakers per se. I'm in love with what goes into what's being made to come out of the speakers. So, you know, some people go into the studio depressed. Some people go in, life challenges, and they find a way to convey that in their music to bring about encouragement. That comes
Mm.
from an authentic place. But when we get away from and we move away from authenticity, and we try to produce a fantasy, or we try to produce or manufacture something that is not our authentic self, that's when we go on the flip side of the coin, on the hurting side, because then we'll start chasing what's popular. We'll start chasing what we think people will receive or buy or support, instead of being your authentic self. And I'll stop there.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. And so I want to go to the record exec, Francis. You've been in music for a while. As a matter of fact, you and Kevin both you both got into well, no, I won't say that. You got into the music production and industry because of your children, right? And so I want to ask the both of you. I'll start with you first, Francis. What do you think about that question? Is music healing or hurting the black community?
I agree with Bro Samaj on the fact that it really depends on the genre. Back in the day, and that's why I say I'm into artist development. Um, the quality of music. the lyrics, the essence of music came from a developed artist versus today it's more of a developed product. Everybody's trying to push that product, that one song. This is a hit. This is the single, and so you have a lot of unprepared, talented people putting things out. But then once that you might be a one hit wonder
Yeah.
because that product may have been good, but now your next song may not be, and it'll fail because you as an artist you were not developed. You don't know, you didn't take the proper steps. You don't have fans. You didn't build that loyalty with people that now whether you put a good one or a bad out, your fans are gonna support you and they're still gonna go out and buy. But when you're steady pushing just that product and you push whatever, you're jumping, like he said, you're jumping from, well, they doing that, so let me go do that. Well, they doing
Mhm.
this, let me go do this. Well, they doing it this way, let me go do it. So there's nothing authentic about you yourself, you the artist. So it's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it could be, but because people are stuck on trends, you don't get, like Samar said, you don't get the authenticity.
Yeah.
Um, because people not putting out what they're doing. Okay, what they're really feeling. They're putting out what's trending. Okay, Kevin, what about you?
And here's the thing: no matter what, we can't get around the fact that music is spiritual in nature. It
Hmm.
does not matter the genre, but it's all about the heart of the person, which goes back to
Yeah,
what Smaj was saying about the authenticity of the person. Um, and so, music it's actually meant for healing, but because of the perversion of it, because of the heart of certain artists, that their motives are not pure, that they're not being authentic in trying to help people in with their lyrics or with their music, from the go back to the scripture, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And
hmm,
so it's the same way with music, from the abundance of the heart, whatever that's in that spirit, in the spirit of that artist, and they're putting out there, it's producing, it's either producing healing or it's producing hurting. So it's kind of like both. It's a two-edged sword. It just depends on the genre, the artist, and what they're putting out there as far as the healing and the hurting. So
gotcha,
again, it's kind of doing a little bit of both.
gotcha. All right, let me talk to these Gen Zers. I talked to the old heads now. Let me talk to these Gen Zers. What do you think, Christian? Uh, is it hurting or healing?
I hate to kind of echo off everybody else, but I kind of think it's doing both. From my perspective, I see it as like, for some people, they might not be ready to, like, though, yes, it's authentic coming from that person. Some people, I guess the consumer might not be ready to receive it. I guess because of the place they're in, because somebody else who hears it, they might be ready to hear it. I guess it might be, they might have gone through it or experienced it or something like that. But somebody else who hasn't, they might use that as an excuse to, you know, I guess say or feel however they want to feel. I guess it just depends also on I guess the person who's hearing it. I
Yeah,
guess I guess everything isn't meant for everybody. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because somebody may be speaking what's going on to another generation. I was listening to an interview with Ice Cube. Well, Kevin Hart was interviewing Ice Cube, and Ice Cube was saying that when he put his music out, he was putting it out based upon what he was experiencing and what he was seeing. While some people may not have gravitated to it or agreed with it, what he was doing, he was trying to get out what was going on so he could heal. uh, and other people would perceive that as him hurting the community. So I agree with it. It depends on who it's for. All right, Gabe, what about you?
Everybody kind of hit on all cylinders right there. Literally everything that I could have said. I think everyone has kind of tapped. Only thing I would say, I would kind of go back to what Pastor Samaj said on the authenticity part. There is not a lot of authentic music. There's a lot of following music. Everybody kind of wants to be what they're seeing or what they're being portrayed. And so that's where I kind of feel about it. It's not enough, people that kind of develop the sound. Okay, what's your mission with the music? Like, what's your goal? What's your purpose in you dropping a song, other than you feel like you can rhyme or make something make sense or something. So I just think it's not enough purpose in the music. A lot of people just kind of want to shine. That's what it seems like. Everybody just want the dream, and not the purpose of the dream. And so that's
Yeah.
that's kind of where, well, I wouldn't say everybody, mostly mainstream. I would kind of rephrase that and say mainstream. What you
Yes.
see mostly is, I would say, what you see mostly is hurting the black community,
Yeah.
because that's what we want to, as a whole, it would seem, as a collective, that's what we want to be.
Yeah.
We want to live the lime life, and we don't see what it took to get to that, to that
Yeah.
social media picture that got 1,000 likes on it, so it just,
Right.
it's just a whole, it's not
Right.
enough authenticity
Right.
out there. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would say it's both. It all depends on what you listen to. I would definitely say do your research, and figure out what you want to do with this, with music. Like, don't just get in it because your homeboy say you can rap, or your homegirl say you can sing. Really figure out if this is for you, and are you building up the kingdom. That's what it's
That's
all about. Regardless if it's R&B, hip hop, or whatnot, it's all supposed to go towards building up the kingdom.
that's good. That's
I'd like
good.
to add this piece. As
Go
Gabe
ahead.
was talking, he just kind of birthed a thought in me. This question, although it's loaded, it is also perspective driven, because I can say that what you deem as hurtful music is healing me, because
Mm,
it's
right.
from my perspective, it
True.
speaks to where I am in life. So if I'm used to smoking dope or getting beat up or whatever the case
Yeah,
may be, and there's a song that comes on and affirms that, I can say that that's healing. When on the flip side, on a different perspective, there's a song that says, "But you don't have to suffer that. You don't have to be entangled in that." So I
yeah,
think I think perspective plays a big part in the answering of that question from each individual
Yeah.
Yeah.
consumer.
Yeah. And I like that, Samaj, because Beyonce just dropped one called Church Girl.
Done upset the saints. Done
yes,
upset.
sir.
but but when you listen to the lyrics, when you listen to the lyrics,
She ain't talking about
she's
no church
she's
girl.
she's talking about the struggle and the dichotomy
Yeah,
that a lot of women are dealing with, whether
Mhm,
they are they saints on Sunday,
mhm.
but they twerking on Tuesday,
Come on.
right? And they're trying to figure out how to balance this dichotomy. I'm saved, but I want to shake it fast, right?
yeah, right.
And so it's speaking to them, and it says, "Oh my God, I'm glad somebody began to say how I feel." Not saying that it's right or wrong, but I'm just saying it's speaking to what somebody's dealing with at that moment. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right. So let's move on to the next question. Right. So many people, Gabe was talking earlier. Many people think, just because they got skills, they can drop a quick 16, and make it hot. And they connected to somebody who may have a studio. They think that they have everything that they need to make it in the industry. So the next question is this: is gift and connection enough to break into the industry? So I'll start with Francis. Is gift and connection, uh, is that enough?
It shouldn't be enough. I'm try, I'm trying to,
Go
evaluate how
ahead. Come on with
it
it.
should not be enough. You give, you gotta give, but the business part of it is harder to break into. However, that connection part is what brings me a little pause, because again, as the years have gone by, we're the old heads. It was done a little different. You had to tour and work your way. You really had to work. But now, if you're well connected, if you know the right people, actually don't even have to be gifted. You can make it happen. My
Yeah,
cousin is already big and huge, and I'm gonna put you on.
yeah.
And so in that sense, you know, connection could be enough depending on who you're connected to. I mean, that's just how it really is working,
Yeah, you said
especially
it's
for me,
it's
especially in like the Christian area, like the in gospel. If you notice, there's like the same 5, 10, 15, maybe a famous, where people want to be in the limelight. Famous artists. It just keeps repeating. It's the same ones because they
so
already made it and they're connected.
let's deal with this. I'm about to I'm about to muddy the waters a little bit, right? So why is it that you only have the same people circulating in the industry in just about every genre? And it wasn't until people like Toby and others like him began to break the mold. Why is it that you only is it because of the gatekeepers? Is it because people don't want to put in the work? What's behind that?
I think from my perspective, I don't think it's the gatekeepers.
Okay,
Because in this day and time, realistically speaking, the gatekeepers have no power. The reality of it is you have to pay to play, and
okay. So we back at payola now.
you have to pay to play. You can have hot
Wow.
garbage with green peanuts in it, but if you got thousands of dollars to cash
Wait a minute.
out,
You say
huh?
hot garbage with green peanuts.
With green peanuts. You can have hot garbage with green peanuts. But guess what? If you have the money to shuffle out to the radio stations, to the people that the networkers that want to work your project for $1,500 a month, to pay to get on these showcases, and what we see, and I hate to say it, but I'm a gospel artist, but I have enough sense to know that what I see on the Stellar Awards and the Grammy Awards, that's not pure talent. That talent is
Hey,
probably 20%. That is
hey,
80% money.
Money.
Whether you are an indie artist or whether you are on a record label, someone has paid your way, and if you don't have the dollars, you won't have a voice unless the
Oh,
Holy Ghost come in, make intervention for you, and put your stuff, or let it cross someone's desk that says, I'm really trying to make a difference in the music industry. But majority of it is money.
all right.
I hate to say
So,
that, but it's money.
all right. Go ahead, Kevin. You got something to say?
No, I was gonna actually that's what I was gonna say. People don't realize industry is
It's
business,
busy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I can put a spin on the scripture where it says your gift will make room for you. Your
yeah,
gift will make room for you.
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Money, if you come with money, it just does not matter, because industry is business, and
Yes, sir.
they're about money and marketability.
Yeah,
If your face can make them money, they're gonna do it. Why do you
yes, sir.
think they have? I won't name names, but why do you think they have certain artists, uh, boy, with that's photoshopped up real good, look real good album covers and stuff? They
Yeah,
ain't gonna put the real deal out there, because that's not what's gonna sell those albums.
right.
It's a look. It's what's gonna bring them that money, and then also you having that money, as Samaj said. If you got the money to pay those radio stations, they are in the business to make money. They don't care
Wow.
Yeah,
about how you sound or
all
none of
across the
that
board.
stuff. But
Yeah.
if you can bring them the
Business.
dollars,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
can bring them the dollars, that's why there's only a certain few that's circulating. Because look, that money is sure.
Locked in.
Yeah.
That is locked
So
Yeah.
in.
so okay, all right. So now I want to now ask questions. So I want to be petty right there with that question.
Uh,
So now I want to ask this question. Um, you know, because a lot of people think that you make money by the number of records you sell, but when you start, if you sign up with a label, you're not making a whole lot of money.
depending
People
on the
begin
deal.
to make people begin to be, it depends on the deal.
The deal.
People make their money based on their tours and their merchandise and all
Mm.
stuff like that, right? So uh is there a difference between an artist and being an entertainer? Because somebody can be a gifted artist. Is there a difference between an artist and an entertainer?
Definitely. That kind of goes back into what he was saying about them selling, being able to sell you. You know, if
Mm,
you got the image, like it don't matter if you have a big social media presence. Like they're gonna find if you're big on a social media platform or just with influence. Period. They're gonna find some type of way to sell you. You know, like
mm,
and that's what a lot of the mainstream artists like. They're not for people that's really in tune with music and what they're doing it for, other than just trying to get some money.
mm.
Then yes, we see it differently, but yes, it's definitely a difference between most 90% of the industry. To me, is entertainment. It's not artistry.
Right,
Right.
right.
It's
Wow.
entertainment. You know.
So there's a difference between an artist and entertainer because I think about Michael Jackson and Janet.
Yeah,
They were both artists
Both. Yes.
yeah.
And in the
and entertainers,
Definitely.
yeah.
right? And that's why they had they could, Virgin Records would pay $50 million to Janet Jackson to for her to leave Atlantic Records, you
Mhm.
know, because she was a dual threat. She was both an artist and an entertainer.
Hmm.
Yes.
And so Christian, what is your take on that? Is there how do you feel you differentiate between being an artist and an entertainer?
I would kind of agree with what everybody else was saying. Like if you got that image, they're gonna find a way to sell you. Um, some people could look at it like, okay, it's an art to entertainment, I guess. Like that's an art in and of itself. But when you're talking about like artistry, as in like being your authentic self, it's not a lot of it, I guess, in the mainstream per se. I guess how you would differentiate it would be um your purpose behind it, I guess, your intent
Okay,
behind it.
okay,
And a lot of people you can't really tell what their intent is until you like watch them for a little bit. But yeah, that's what I would say about it.
okay. So you said out there. There's this lady on Instagram, right?
Mm.
I follow her, because I heard her sing on a live once, and she is just amazing. Her name is Official Miss Dot West, right? And and I'm so enamored. I wanted to have her on the show tonight. She was not able to because she does she's a performer, right? And she's a performer because she does plays. And what drew me to following her was the fact that when she sings, all of her is in the music. She's not just singing just out of gift, she's singing to tell a story. How far have we gotten away from telling stories in music?
Uh, I don't think we got away from the storytelling part. That
It's just
from what
whose
I'm
story being
hearing, yeah,
told.
it's whose story being told. Like
Right.
Like,
and what you got from your story. That's what it is. Like I don't the storytelling hasn't gone anywhere. It's a whole
Right.
lot of
What
storytelling.
what to me what has gone away is the entertainment part. I mean, we get so offended for anybody to say you're a performer, you're entertaining.
Before you go there, let me go ahead and go to this question then.
Oh,
Since you already took us there. All right. So in church, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes people have a disdain towards the term performance or performer, right? So
mm,
so is their disdain from a church, is the term performance appropriate or is it misunderstood?
It's misunderstood.
I
'Cause
knew he was
Why
going
is
to
that?
this
I have
question. Yeah,
spoken to that,
yeah,
that, and because somebody got up in church say, "I don't perform." Yes, you do perform. Just the same way Jesus performed miracles.
Right. Yeah,
There's
I
a
would say
there's an
both.
element of performance that has to take
Yeah.
place in what you do. If you're going to compel people, you have to entertain them.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to entertain their thought, their mind. You have to
capture.
enthrall them. You have to
Make it look
captivate
good.
so much so that they will listen to the
Yes,
story.
sir.
They will listen to your ministry. They will listen
Yeah.
to. So you can't be afraid of to entertain people. Jesus entertained people all the time. Jesus performed, like I say, he performed all types of miracles, for the people. So there's a disdain for that word because of the way the world has taken it.
Yeah.
There's so
Yeah.
many things that's a
Yeah.
little that's a
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I intentionally go deep because I think that people, if you're going to, even if you're going to get into the gospel music industry, I think that you have to begin to you have to bring the anointing to
yes,
the performance,
right,
Yeah,
right? Because sometimes you have to perform in places you don't necessarily want to go,
right.
that's right,
right? If you're going to be an artist and if this is going to be your livelihood, but when you bring the anointing to
yes,
the performance,
yeah,
you're still removing burdens and destroying yokes
Definitely.
even while you are performing. And,
right,
and so I wanted to ask that question because I think sometimes, if people who want to get into the gospel music industry or any type of industry, I think they forget that, okay, this is an industry,
yeah,
right?
Right. It's a
And
business.
and and it's going to be some level of competency that has to come with that
yeah,
when you jump into that industry,
mm,
because even if it's gospel, you think about the gospel greats. You think about John P. Key.
Entertain.
That cat, you know, he's anointed,
Yeah.
yeah,
but
He's a performer too.
he brings you into
He
the
captivates.
performance. He
Yeah.
yeah,
captivates you.
Yeah.
I go and watch his show all day long. I think of a lot of great artists. I think that the thing that makes them great is their ability to captivate you and
yeah,
bring
And
you into
and
performance.
that's where I was headed, even with the question about is there a difference between artistry and an entertainer, is that artistry, like Christian said, that's who you are. That's your authenticity. That's your flavor. That's your genre. That's your heart for the arts, right? But if you're trying, when you say when you pair that up with industry, I don't care what genre it is. You can be the most holies of holy. If you're talking about industry, you're talking about entertainment. If you're talking about making money, you're talking about entertainment. You have to be able to captivate your audience in order to get fans, in order to build the fan base, in order to have people to follow you. You can't stand there now if you just want to minister, just minister, and you're not
You
trying to
leave
add
there.
that industry component. You can do
Yeah,
that. You can do that all day long. But
yeah,
if you want to make money, if you want to break into the industry, if you want to make that your bread and butter, you're gonna have to allow the anointing to come with you, your artistry, and then entertain to captivate them. If you're not catching my attention, you gotta be able to capture everybody's attention. Like we were talking about mainstream, once you become an entertainer, you're leaving the church. I'm sorry, folks. You're going mainstream as far as everybody can listen to, everybody
wow,
can get captivated. everybody can get healed and ministered to when you become an entertainer because you bring them in. I always talk about Apostle Riley because when I first met him, I went to a concert to make sure when we talking about being signed to see him, and he is a storyteller. If you ever just look at his videos, he tells the story with his hands, his action, his movements. I mean, he literally captivates you. And to some people that in the church, that may seem like a lot, like oh, he's
You're
it's
doing too much.
doing too much as far as that. But in mainstream, I can take him anywhere and he will entertain because he's telling the story with his hands, his movement. He is captivating my attention. I'm gonna stop to listen. What is he doing? What is he saying? So yeah, you have to be an entertainer. You have to be able to perform.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I think from my perspective on that question, Pastor Jones, it speaks to my answer speaks to my frustration
Go ahead, talk to me.
with that, because being anointed, being gifted, being a performer, uh, church folks get on my nerves. I'll just let me church folk, and y'all laughing, but I'm so serious right now. Church folk
Yeah.
get on my nerves because you accept performance everywhere else
That's right.
Come on.
except for church. And then the piece of performance that you do want to accept in church is excused. And that piece is when the preacher want to hoop and go up 4 keys. That ain't the whole.
Come on.
When I hoop, I'm not. That ain't Jesus telling me to hoop. I hoop because I like to hoop,
Come
and I'm
on.
deciding to go up 3,
Come
4
on.
keys because I want to,
That's
and I
right.
Right.
have the ability to.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
happens when I want to implement a captivating piece in praise and worship, or with the choir, like Ricky Dillard, he has his choir doing,
Boy,
body
I love
gestures,
Ricky
Come on.
Dillon.
things of
Right.
those natures to captivate his audience.
Thank
But
you.
it's church Negroes
Entertainment.
that's so holy they ain't no earthly good, and you got to be deep,
Yeah.
and find some type of something in everything. And my thing is, if I'm going to the Simmons Bank Arena, I'm not paying $50
Come on.
and I'm just coming from a preacher pastor. I'm not going to
Yes.
experience God. I'm
Come
going to
on.
experience that artist.
That's it.
Come
And
Yeah.
if
on.
that
Development.
artist spend too long
Yes.
worshiping and trying to lay hands, I'm finna be mad.
Come
Cause
on
that
here.
ain't what I paid my
Because
money
you
for.
paid for a concert,
I paid
Yes.
for a
not
concert.
ministry.
I paid for a performance. I need to see you coming down on wires and smoke and lights, and I need to see you do about 3 outfit changes because that's what I paid for. Now we want to
Make sure.
worship. Find me at church on Sunday morning. Maybe we can lay out on the altar. But it's church folk that don't mind Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion shaking her tail, and you gonna shake yours right in your house with her. But when it
Come
comes
on.
to performance and artistry in the church, I'm sorry, I done got passionate. But when it comes to artistry in the church, then we want to talk about we playing in church, and
That's right.
we performing in church, and man,
Uh,
miss me with all that foolishness.
Come on here. Come on.
I'm sorry. I
Yes,
just had to
here.
get that out.
uh,
I'm sorry.
because really, to be honest, where the mainstream artists, where they learned how to be performers,
Mhm.
if you really look at it, is in the church.
Hey,
In church.
that's
Right.
what every artist.
They learn how to perform in the church.
Yes.
And so I don't know why we get upset, when we start talking about performing.
I don't know either, and I'm glad you said that, because the reason I had to perform is because you brought your rump in here and sat down on your do nothing,
Come
and I
on.
had to do 4 cartwheels and 3 backflips in order for you to just stand up and clap your hands. And
Come
now you
on.
mad because I
I'm
perfected this
performing.
craft to
Yeah.
move the audience, and I've taken my gift outside of the church, and you mad because you the one trained me to be a performer.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Entertain. That's right.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Right.
move on with that question.
Jesus.
So we we talked about social media and technology. So let's ask this question: is technology and social media good for the music industry, or does it cheapen it?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
It gives the artist more so the opportunity to be the CEO of their own music. You know, like with the social media platform, there is a wide range of independent artists out there just based off of them building their own platform off Instagram, off YouTube, off TikTok, Facebook. You can get paid off of all those social media sites. Now you got to the where the point of music, you sell your music off NFTs. Like there is a social media has I say it depends on how you use it.
Right.
The labels,
So
far as labels, is gonna be tough for the labels. You know, they got a little competition now, but for the most part, I think social media is good for the. It's definitely good for the music industry.
okay, all right, Christian, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's definitely. I think it's good for the industry. You know, people. A lot of people are gonna look at it as like it's cheapening the industry. Yeah, but I look at it as like a light. It's gonna shine the light on the bad, just like it's gonna shine the light on the good. So, like,
Wow.
whereas before, I wouldn't say like before social media, but before it was so, I guess, prevalent. Is it as prevalent as it is today? um the bad so-called bad music wouldn't be as seen as it is nowadays because we see so it's so accessible nowadays. So you're gonna see a lot more, and with that larger number of people coming in, you're gonna get a lot of the bad as well as the good. So it's just that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Okay, right. And y'all, excuse my camera keeps going in and out. I don't know what the deal is with it. But I like the way you like how you put that it's going to expose both the bad and the good.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Sister Tina, yeah, it's going to expose both when you begin to do that. Now, so let you G Pace mentioned NFTs. So how do y'all feel about NFTs? Because Tory Lanez, he released an NFT. How much did he get when he dropped his first one?
It was over $1 million.
Yeah, it was over a million, and that was in one day,
Yeah,
right? But
it's in,
but but you really hadn't heard that same music in rotation. He hadn't done any tours or anything, you know, uh, with that. So what do you think about NFTs? Is this a way for people to come in and just drop something just based on a fad and get money and put out, as Samaj call it, garbage with hot garbage with green peanuts in
I
it?
mean, like it all depends on what you use it for. Like for some artists, like to really take their music and their gift and their purpose seriously, then it's beneficial to them. You know, like I say, it's giving. It's instant. It's instant money. Everything. If you look at every social media, that's from Instagram to Facebook. Everything is turning meta world. They call it meta. And
Yeah,
so that's all it is. That's all NFTs is. It's meta. Like you know how you got your the virtual glasses. That's all it
yeah,
is. So when you like, it don't have to be release music. If I put my music out and I'm getting it off, this instant. I don't have to worry about royalty checks. I don't have to worry about to wherever I distribute to if they send out checks. I don't have to worry about none of that. It's instant. And
wow,
so yeah, so it's all about how you use and what you want to use it for. So I believe it's a good thing, especially for it gives a lot of independency for the artist. I
yeah.
don't think it's bad at all.
Because I think Toby, he is I can't pronounce his last name, but he busting heads.
Oh yeah,
He busting heads because every every major artist and producer is just coming to flow and work with him, man, and he's he's just doing the thing, and now because he's skilled, he's gifted, he's an artist, and he's a performer.
yes sir.
And
Director.
now you have the Grammys and other places asking him to come and perform simply because he's been able to use social media and being able to use this independence to be able to get the attention of the industry, and it's changing everything, right? And so I think that him and people like him and people like Tory Lanez, they give people the blueprint, right? Of if you really want to get into this industry, how do you do it? And so here we're gonna move on past this. Um, so normally I do another segment called "Stuff That Make Me Want to Cuss." I stopped cussing in April, and I've only slipped twice. I've only slipped twice since April, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm doing really good. God is keeping me.
Yes, sir.
But notice I've spelled it
Yes.
SHTUFF.
Yes.
Stuff that make
Yes.
me want to cuss, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so here's one of the things that make me want to cuss is black music influencing nearly every genre in music that's active today but lacks proper notoriety. It's like we got to wait for an entire decade for a black person to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, or a black person to get a Grammy. That's new. John Baptiste, he did something that was very intriguing this last Grammys, and I think that the pandemic was something that made him kind of blow up. But that's something that trips me out, because even country music was birthed out of a black rendition of music, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but we don't get the notoriety for that.
Mm-mm.
So I want to ask this question, because the academies, they're still blocking black people out. That's both uh, the Stellars is good, but even the Dove Awards is not really bringing black people in there. So I want to ask the question, because I talked about the Stellar, and Francis has the Music Love Awards coming up, right? And so should black people walk out and form their own platforms and institutions to manage, curate, and distribute music?
Absolutely. For me, even with I agree. People feel like, oh, the labels are gonna suffer because of social media and all that. Actually, they don't necessarily really suffer. If you're representing an artist that's educated and is committed, because it takes a lot of work to run all the social medias, to do all the NFTs, to do all that stuff. That's a lot of technology and a lot of savvy and a lot of mind and creativity to be able to do all that. But when you are committed and you do all those things, you prosper, you succeed. But you got to put your head in, and you got to
Yeah.
continue, not just because it just okay. Facebook was here, now it's gone. Let me just go to Instagram. You all over the place. Do them all, work them all, get a team. You still need a team to help you succeed with all of that, right? Because you can't do it all and then perform as
Yeah.
well and be an entertainer. So for me, with the black community, with the African American talent and all that, and being locked out of all these things, you would need to come together. You can't
Mm-hmm.
walk out and do your own platforms. It's like you said, it is in every genre. It has, or even sports, anything in the world I think of, it really to me comes from African American, just that talent, that tenacity, that strength. But it needs to be a united front, a united community. For me, and that's just my opinion, nobody get offended. For me, what's happening is when you have a talent, black artist, or anything like that, you're chasing after what you see mainstream doing, what they're doing. You want to be over there with them. You want to make it with them, versus, hey, let's all come together over here and let's make it happen. Let's make our own huge platform so that we using all this that's available now.
Yeah.
And you can succeed if you do it that way. But you have to come together and unite versus competing with each other.
So
You
so
got
so 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 now I'm gonna go here. Yeah, Clarissa Pace asked the same thing. Do black artists need to unite? Now, what do you think is the biggest hindrance? I'm gonna let you answer that first, Samaj. What do you think is the biggest hindrance to uh, black artists coming together and forming their own thing in order to promote and distribute and curate for ourselves.
The lack of self-awareness and low self-esteem.
Okay, elaborate on that.
Um, I some artists, and the reason I can say this is because I've seen it real time. Some artists have no idea of who they authentically are as a person.
Bingo.
And the only acceptance or notoriety that they receive is through their gift of music.
Mm.
And oftentimes we mistake our gift for being who we are. That's not the
Bingo.
case. You know, Jesus's gift was, and I just use Jesus because I'm in the gospel industry. But Jesus's gift was healing the sick, raising people from the dead, bringing people to deliverance. But his name is Jesus Christ. He knew who he was in the Father. And
Mm.
so even though I am, I'm gifted, I can play the keyboard, I can sing or whatever, whatever it is that I'm gifted in, I cannot become so consumed with that and allow it to develop this big fish in a small pond mentality.
Mm.
So therefore I'm not intimidated by my brother that is just as or more gifted than I am. It allows me the opportunity to celebrate them. But a lot of us lack the empowerment. I'll use that word very carefully. The empowerment to celebrate what is just as equal or greater than us. And I think that is the biggest kryptonite to the black community because I want the notoriety. I want the attention.
Wow.
I
Right.
want, all of the fame. And the thing about it is, if we would drop the intimidation and come together and build a package, like Sister Francis said, if we would build a package together, man, we could take this nation because
Yes.
a lot of us are afraid to step out from the industry because our dollar is dependent on the industry. Our what we are gonna make or get is dependent on the industry. But if we really would tap into and I'll say this and I'll be done. One of the things that I was just talking to one of my great friends, he's the band director for Ricky Dillard. He just won a Stellar Award, and I talked to him 2 days ago. And one of the things that I said to him was, I am going to put some money behind my personal record, but I'm not going to go broke because I don't want to become so industry minded that I lose my passion for music. I don't want to stop having fun. Coming in the
Okay.
studio, spending hours is fun for me. So whatever the music is gonna do, it's gonna do. It's gonna reach who is gonna reach, whether I'm famous or not. And I think if I stay in that place, it helps me to celebrate Gabe right down the street. That hey, we come from the same neck of the woods, but if he makes it and sell millions of records, I can celebrate him and not be inferior toward that. And I hope
Yeah.
I answered your question.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that. So we're gonna wrap this up real quick, and I'm gonna wrap it up with a quick game, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna uh put some names up here. I want you to tell me how they changed the industry in 2 to 3 words. How they changed it? Well, 3 to 5 words. How they changed the industry. So we ready? All right. How they changed the industry? Number one, Barry Gordon. How did he change the industry?
I don't know too much about Barry. I know
Oh, come on,
I
young
just know
man.
as far as I've had someone kind of like speak to me, kind of compare me
Okay,
to
your
him, but
homework
I
assignment
don't
is
really, yeah.
talk to your mama and daddy and
I know
find
who I mean, I know who
out.
he is and what he doing, but like I'm not just, I'm
Yeah,
not just big
yeah.
on Barry.
Find out what
I
he
ain't gonna
did.
even
All
lie to
right,
you.
all right. So let's see. James Brown. How did he
I
change
think
the industry?
electrifying. I think he brought the fire to To me, I think he just brought a lot of fire to the game.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he
He
brought he brought he
original
brought. I think he
drastic.
brought showing your tail. You know, to me,
Yeah,
he made
yeah.
it look good.
And
Just flat
James
out showing your
Brown,
tail.
I think he helped black people understand the business side of music a lot
Mm-hmm.
better too,
Mhm.
because he was one of the first ones to own his masters, right?
Right.
And so when you buy a James Brown record, you buying a James Brown record, right? Uh, so and Tina Riley said Barry Gordy put black people on the map. All right, and then let's see the Neptunes.
Okay.
Ooh, that's before my time, doc.
You don't know who the Neptunes are?
That's before my time.
That's Pharrell and who's the other uh producer that was with them, and then they put people like Timberland and Missy on the
I
map.
know the names. I just
I think, for me, for the Neptunes, man, they brought, and we get back to that word that we submitted at the beginning of the show, authenticity.
mm-hmm.
I mean, Pharrell was
Definitely.
authentic, man.
Yeah,
Timberland, authentic.
yeah,
Missy,
yeah,
you knew when
You
Missy
know,
came on, you was finna
yeah.
see leather everything.
yeah.
But she did not change
Yeah,
for
Right.
anybody. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that was her selling point. You know what I'm saying? She found who she was in her music and her message, as far as all of, though that camaraderie of artists, and they brought the flavor of being yourself collectively.
yeah. Got you. Joe Jackson.
ooh,
He brought the fear.
yeah,
Yeah.
Will
He
beat the
brought
hell out them kids.
he brought in commitment and dedication. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah.
had
He,
to
he
want
definitely
it.
put that work
Discipline.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
discipline. That's it. He
yeah,
brought that to it. He
yeah.
made sure that all those kids knew the business. So if you were gonna make it, you better know the business. And no doubt, you can tell every last one of them. They're in
They
it.
know
To
that.
see They're classic. They'll never go anywhere. Their name is a legacy because he instilled business and discipline into those
Because
kids.
he was going to beat them if they didn't get it.
Yeah,
That's right.
but
And
Janet say he did not discipline them without loving them.
Loving.
right. I
yeah.
love the
That's
way
why I
Janet
love
Jackson
the
came and
way.
cleared it up.
Yes,
You can't
Yeah,
just be
she
whooping them to be
she made
whooping. You
it
gotta
clear.
tell them why you whooping
I
Yeah,
loved it.
yeah.
them.
So she said what she say discipline without love is tyranny, and she said her
Right.
Right.
parents were
That's
not
right.
tyrants. Yeah. Let's see. Clara Ward.
Hmm. What it is.
Don't tell me y'all know who Clara Ward is.
Not familiar
You
with
got
that.
me. You got me on that one, dog.
All
You got
right.
me
So
stumped.
so I so yeah, I need you all go back and research Clara Ward.
Research.
We got
I
to
got to
She
research
find her.
Clara
Or
Ward.
write
she
that
she
down.
was one who really began to bridge the gap between secular and Christian music.
All
Hmm.
right.
She came out of the Church of God in Christ, and people, you know, didn't some people in the church didn't really care for her because she was a performer.
Mm.
She played her guitar, and they felt that she was too um
Worldly.
no, well, she was rough. She was rough like a Tina Turner,
Hmm.
and she performed like me because she played her guitar, and she was raspy. But Clara
Rocks.
Ward, she was something else.
Well, I'm going to look her up.
Look up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You try to wrote down.
All right. Let's see. Nina Simone.
You bringing people. I don't know.
I'm gonna need you to come
Y'all don't
out
know who Nina
there, dog.
Simone is? Come on, man.
You went in
You
there.
been
Good
now.
You
Lord.
you been in deep.
You
it,
going astray.
it must be late.
You going astray, dog.
Yeah.
I can look
All
her
right.
up.
All right. So let's see. Tyler the Creator.
um,
Hold on.
I wouldn't say he just brought the creativity. I think he kind of brought to us. It may seem we. I don't know how to put it other than saying weirdness. I think he kind of brought, the weirdness to the whole game. It's a whole
Yeah,
lot of weird stuff going on. To me, just
yeah. I
to each his own. But I just, for me, he just kind of, brought the
Yeah, his
yeah,
stuff is kind of weird, but
a
I
little
think
weird.
what he did is he showed how eclectic black music can really be.
Yeah,
That it doesn't have to be because watch you're going to begin to see people who are going to begin to try to mimic him, right?
yeah.
Because his music is like a genre in and of itself now. And so I think he another thing he did because I learned the other day that he actually has um, uh, he actually started an animated series with a group of people before he came out with his music. And his animated series was played on Netflix or Hulu or something like that. And
Hmm.
so he that's why he goes by Tyler the Creator, right?
Mhm.
So I hadn't listened to a whole bunch of his stuff, but I think he's shown what different is, like Clarissa said. Uh, let's see, I'm gonna give you one more. Well, two more. Uh, Kurt Franklin. How
Ah,
did he change?
Oh yeah,
He
game
put the
changer.
stuff in the church.
He brought crossover.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
He taught us how to write songs that were deemed gospel, but they never said Jesus, they never said God, and they could be played in the club.
Yeah,
wow,
they are
wow.
played in the club. It's
Right,
songs I played in the club.
right. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
I
tore
remember
up
the
in the
days.
floor, dog.
I,
They club. Yeah, they spinning revolution in the club. Yes,
God,
sir. Yes,
yes,
sir.
sir.
They are
uh,
playing in the club.
all
Yes,
right,
sir.
Beyonce.
Woo.
Church girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Beyonce,
I found out
Entertainer
that
and good.
Beyonce, she changed the whole entertainment industry because
definitely.
she went to this. She and her husband, Jay Z, this billionaire who brought them in, and he said I love you all's business acumen and your ability to entertain. He said, what is it I can do to make things better? And so they talked to this guy. He's the same person who actually started Priceline.com, and they talked to him and they said, if we could have somebody who does all the legwork, who goes and sets up the venue and everything, that we don't have to do that. She said that they said that makes our job easier. So the reason Beyonce can work, and because she talked about how people don't produce bodies of work now. But the reason she can do that and drop lemonade and boom, her stuff is popping like real quick is because she doesn't have all the leg work that she has to do when it comes to being an entertainer
Right.
because she has somebody already doing the back
Yeah.
leg work for her.
See?
And so it makes it easier for her to be both an entertainer and an artist, right?
Yeah.
So she can do that. And I got one more for y'all, and then I'm gonna leave y'all alone. One more for y'all. Jonathan McReynolds.
Yes.
Uh,
He, to me, he
John.
puts
Smooth.
the yeah, he puts the intimacy back
Yeah,
into even worship.
yeah. I think what one of the things he did, I like that, Francis. I think one of the things he did, he made black people like folk music.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, sit in
Yeah.
that stool and
You know,
yeah,
he
the
sit there
intimate
with a
back.
guitar and
Mhm.
he playing songs around the campfire, and,
Yeah.
Right.
and, and he made us love
Yeah.
it.
Because he took us in with limp.
Yeah.
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 All right. So if you want to reach out and get in contact with these people, thank you for those who were commenting and putting comments out there. If you want to get in contact with these people, Gabe, you can reach him at G Pace Official, and Gabe. Uh, so I'm gonna come back to you, Samaj. You can find him on all streaming platforms, all of me, and he has new music coming out soon. So look
Mhm.
for him, G Pace. But
That's
all
true.
of me, it's responsible, I think, for 50% of the pandemic babies that we have out here. And then if you want to reach Samaj underscore Brown Senior, and Samaj, I'm gonna go back. Hold on a second. Samaj, he has a single out, Much Is Required. I cannot wait for the full album. But he already said, he not gonna be doing all this stuff just to get y'all to like him, and he not love music no more. But I want you to go out and listen to Much Is Required. This song will get you to the point to where you begin to check yourself. And it's so lyrically sound, and so phenomenally written. I love it, the whole thing. And then uh, Christian, he's a beat maker. So the video that you saw at the beginning, um, where the beat on there, he is the one who created those beats. Any of my original beats that I have on my videos and stuff on YouTube and everything, Christian creates those, and he goes by Nephew Black. And his Nephew Black Beats. He was trained classically by the Kevin Riley.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and so also Kevin Riley, you can reach him
Yes.
at Kevin Riley Music, and he has a project out, Restored for Worship. He actually has several projects out, but this is my favorite one. I think because this is the one with Via De La Rosa on it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I love this whole project. So you go out, check Restore for Worship. I think there's another one, Just You Me.
Yes.
And so you go out to any platform, you look up Kevin Riley, and you can find him. And he's also find him on Instagram, Kevin Riley Music. And also, if you are interested in getting in the industry and being groomed as an artist, you can reach out to, I call her Just Francis, but she is the CEO and founder of Angelica Records. You have to pronounce the J with an H because she is an Afro Latina. And so she wants you to pronounce it right. It's Angelica. Don't say Angelica. It's Angelica Records. And so she is just a phenomenal individual, and she can help groom you. She can help train you. She can give you some pointers, and she can give you some tips. But don't go to her if you do not want to work. Don't go to her if you don't want to be in the industry. If you just want to be a minister of music and be able to minister in church, that's fine. But if you want to get in the industry, whether it's R&B, whatever genre, she's going to be the one that helps you to groom you. And she's actually a graduate of Full Sail University, for where my son is graduated from. And so this has been amazing. It's been phenomenal. I appreciate all the passion, all the honesty. Y'all took it beyond my wildest imaginations and dreams. And so thank you all for joining. And I know it's late and you all can drop off if you need to. And I just have about 3 more minutes I need to do before you close your eyes. You can stay on if you want, or you can drop off. But thank you again. And I'll be contacting you. But I appreciate every last one of y'all for hanging out with me this late at night.
Thank
Right?
you.
So
Thank you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And so here we go. Before you close your eyes, I want us to look at something before we get off of here. Before you close your eyes, Zephaniah 3:17, it says, "The Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save. He will rejoice over you with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over you with singing." When it says he will joy over you with singing, it literally means that he will dance over you and he will sing over you. So God is the creator of music, and he has no problem with dancing and movement. And many times we get through the chaos of life and we don't realize that sometimes the chaos is because God is dancing trying to lead us into another place, because Nahum 1:7 says that the clouds are the dust of his footprints. And so I want you to understand this. When you are feeling the chaos of life, screaming and pressing in around you, don't run. Sit still and listen to God's feet dancing around you and his voice singing over you. So the clause to close your eyes to is when you dance with God, allow him to sing to you. He can dance you right out of your troubles. Hashtag God's Lullaby. Thank you for joining us on East Coast Insomniac, West Coast Wind Down. This is Helen Jones' second son, Deborah Michelle's trophy husband, saying life is too short to play games, so keep it real. 2 fingers to the north. We out of here. God bless you. See you next time.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.